Job hunting has become more stressful right now due to high competition for a small amount of hiring demand. My next guest is going to share her job hunting experience and ways to stay positive here on Early Career Unlocked. Welcome, Steph.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here this morning.
Well, I'm really glad that you're here as well to discuss how to stay positive during job hunting stress. But before you do, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, I'm Steph Valadez, and I'm the DEI and Executive Recruiting Leader for Heidelberg Materials North America, which is a heavy building materials company.
I met Steph years ago when I wanted to partner with an organization that she used to work for in the past. And I kept in contact with her because I just loved her energy. And then I've been kind of stalking you on LinkedIn and following your posts. And I truly love things that you put out there into the world. You are a positive force of nature. You're always encouraging positivity, giving back to your community. I see all the community service hours you put in. And I just love the way you encourage gratitude. And so I'm glad that you're here and I'm excited for you to share your advice. Tell us, how are you knowledgeable in this topic?
This resonates so much just because I recently just went through my own period of career transition. I was with a company for 4 years, felt burnt out, ended up moving into another role that wasn't a great fit and needed to step back and reevaluate. And so I put everything on pause. I focused on things that were important to me because I was going through my own personal transition with some life things. And those lived experiences are what I use to really propel myself in my career. And so it's over 15 years of experience that I've got in a lot of career coaching. And that career coaching really happened with people from their early careers all the way to C-suite leaders. And so I've worked across the spectrum. And it's always been adjacent roles to talent acquisition and DEI. And so this is something that I love. And the stalking on LinkedIn has been mutual. I've followed Aaliyah's content just as much. And so I'm super excited to be here.
Today, we're going to talk about how to stay positive during job hunting stress because the environment we're in right now, it's pretty tough. So, what three pieces of advice can you offer today?
Yeah, the first one that really comes to mind for me and something that I had to spend a little bit of time really working on was prioritizing my mental health and my well being. Seeking work is one of the most traumatic things that somebody can experience, but I'm thinking about all the other things that are swirling in the background that can also create stress for you. And so for me, it was taking a hike. It was finding a meetup group that let me do adventures and, go kayaking for the first time and pushing myself in that way. And that was really important and critical. I could actually see the shift in myself when I was taking better care of myself as well. And it's not something that we really prioritize. We always think that finding the job is the most important thing, but taking care of yourself so that you're whole, so that you can show up in the best way when it's time to interview is so critical. And then the second one that I really think is so important is building your support network. And so, what does that mean? It's connection. That's all it is. And starting out, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a little bit awkward. It's okay to be awkward. Set a goal for yourself. It could be, let me connect with 3 people today. And during the pandemic, it was really difficult for me because I love LinkedIn. I connected with tons of people, but I didn't get that in person interaction. And so for me, it was stopping and taking a coffee break with someone. And even if it was virtual, like being able to get to know somebody a little bit better. And the key piece that I found was that the people who are immediately closest to you are not going to be the ones who help you find employment. It's usually that second round of connections that helps you make
Right.
that traction. And so we know that you can apply to a million jobs, but once you build out that network and somebody sees something that you post, and for me, it was somebody that I used to work with like 10 years ago, and he didn't even see my post that I was looking for work. It was because one of our shared connections reshared my post on LinkedIn that he contacted me. He said, "Hey, Steph, let's connect and talk." And they ended up building out this position that I'm in right now. And so that power of building out your network and really expanding and getting uncomfortable is going to be key to moving, your job search a little bit in the right direction. And you'll see that momentum build as you get more uncomfortable with building out that network.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people need to hear more stories like that too, because they don't think that building out your network really helps, but it does. And it may not help you today, it may not help you tomorrow. It can be something, a connection that you made, like you said, 10 years ago, that can suddenly become someone who can help you.
Yeah, and I think the thing that people don't recognize also is that, I'm introverted. It really takes extra effort for me to really project and do this. And so when I talk about that discomfort, that's part of it. So set those little
Right.
goals for yourself to be able to build that network in a way that is authentic to yourself so that you don't
Right.
feel like you're being phony in the process either. The third one that I have to share is it's okay to pause. So I talked about mental health and well being. At one point, when my search was going on for longer than I thought it would, and I wasn't getting the kind of responses I was hoping for, or things were going on hold just because the climate of the job search was changing, I started to feel frazzled. I was like, I am losing control of myself, and I can feel my body responding, and it's not a positive thing. And speaking with my therapist, I'm like, I need to pause. And she's like, yes, you do. It's okay to do that. And so I took a moment. I didn't look for work for a whole week, nothing work related. I spent time with my kids. I hiked. I enjoyed that whole full week. And then I went back and revamped and restarted with extra energy. And it completely shifted me. And I felt the change just from taking that break. And so I think that's really important because it's such a long game. Don't focus so much where you start to lose control. And you should be able to feel that in yourself when you don't feel centered any longer. And so listen to yourself, listen to your body, and just normalize that it's okay to take a brief break.
How to stay positive during job hunting stress? Well, three things you need to know from Steph today. One, prioritize mental health and well being. Two, build your support network. And three, it's okay to pause. So, just to wrap things up, Steph, do you have any last piece of advice that you'd like to offer today?
Sure, I think the one that is going to be the most important is that don't lose that momentum of building your network once you've landed, because that will be so instrumental as you settle into your role. It'll be instrumental even later for your future opportunities. Keep that connection going in whatever way. It could be in volunteering, it could be in, team sports that you might play, your community where you might go to church. And so just keep building. You don't know where that can come from. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, it's all about not just making connections, but deepening those connections as well. So, thank you, Steph, so much for being here and offering such great advice today.
Thank you. It was so nice to be here on your show.
Thank you. And then to our viewers, subscribe for more career advice from industry experts like Steph every week here on Early Career Unlocked.